For years, Japanese bikes ruled the streets, known for rock-solid engineering, unmatched reliability, and names riders swore by. But something's changed. Quietly, China's been leveling up, building bikes that are lighter, smarter, and shockingly advanced. That's why we made this list. These 13 Chinese motorcycles aren't knockoffs. They're contenders. They signal a shift. The motorcycle world isn't changing, it's already changed. And by the time you hit number 1, you'll see why Japan's no longer alone at the top. Let's dive in. Number 13, QJ Motor SRV550 ST. China's not holding back. The QJ Motor SRV550 ST brings muscle and modern tech to the cruiser game, with a 549cc liquid-cooled V-twin making 61 horsepower and 8,500 RPM. That's a solid 10 to 15 more ponies than rivals like the Rebel 500 or Vulcan S. And this 8-valve DOHC engine loves to rev. But it's not just about power. You're getting a full-color TFT dash with Bluetooth, turn-by-turn navigation, gear indicator, tire pressure monitoring, fuel economy stats, and a USB port, all standard. Most Japanese cruisers don't offer half that at this price point. Then there's the chassis, inverted front fork, dual front discs, and radio-mounted calipers. That's sport bike gear on a cruiser. Compare that to the telescopic forks and single front rotors still found on many Japanese middleweights. At under $7,000, the SRV 550 ST isn't just well-spec'd, it's rewriting the rulebook for budget cruisers. As for US availability, QJ Motor has only begun its push into North America via select importers this year, so while it's not yet showing up at major dealerships, enthusiasts can import one through boutique distributors or gray market channels. One Reddit user based in Mexico mentioned seeing the SRV 550 ST priced between $7,400 and $8,405, suggesting the US launch isn't far behind. Japan. Take notes. Now, if you thought the SRV 550 ST was impressive for its size and price, just wait, because China's not stopping at middleweights. They also built a bike that came swinging for the heavyweight retro champs. Think Z900RS and XSR900. Only this one hits harder, costs less, and comes fully loaded, right out of the box. Number 12, Brixton Cromwell 1200X. Here's one that came out of nowhere, and it's gunning straight for bikes like the Kawasaki Z900RS and Yamaha XSR900. Meet the Brixton Cromwell 1200X. This thing means business. It's powered by a 1022cc parallel twin engine with a 270-degree crank, putting down 83 horsepower and a massive 80 pound-foot of torque, all kicking in as low as 3,100 RPM. That's serious low-end muscle. Weight? About 518 pounds wet, with a nearly perfect 48-52 front-rear balance. Way more stable than most retro bikes from Japan, which tend to feel nose-heavy in the corners. But here's the real punch. You get KYB suspension, Nissan radial brakes, Bosch ABS and traction control, stainless exhaust, cruise control, and riding modes, all standard. And the price? Just over $12,000 USD time. And that's for the fully loaded version. A similarly spec'd Z900RS will cost you $15K or more, without a 5-year unlimited mile warranty. As for US availability, Brixton hasn't hit major dealerships yet, but importers are already bringing it stateside, and demand is growing fast. So yes, you can get your hands on one in America. This isn't just a throwback, it's a knockout. Before we dive into the next game changer, if you're enjoying this, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's next. We've done retro and cruisers. Now it's time to go off-road. This next one isn't just an ADV bike, it's a direct hit on Japan's biggest. Number 11, Lansan CR3. This one's small, but it punches way above its weight. The Lansan CR3 might be a 165, but don't call it a beginner bike. This thing's built to fight. Under the tank, a single-cylinder 4-stroke pushing out just under 16 horsepower. Twist the throttle and it'll take you past 70 miles per hour, while pulling down over 100 mpg. That's commuter mileage with backroad spirit. But the CR3 isn't just thrifty, it's smart. You get a perimeter frame, that's sport bike grade geometry, plus telescopic forks up front, a monoshock in the rear, and disc brakes at both ends. Tubeless alloys, LED lighting, digital gauges, all standard. And here's the kicker. It's got electric start and kickstart, fail-safes on a budget bike. Yes, please. Styling-wise, it goes full Street Fighter. Sharp angles, dual-tone paint, aggressive stance. It looks ready to scrap at a red light, and for city riders who want something nimble, loud, and cheap to run, this thing delivers. It's already turning heads in markets like Bangladesh and Southeast Asia. Japan should be watching. because if this is China's entry level, the top end's gonna be scary. If the lightweight naked vibe of the Lansan CR3 is too stripped down for your taste, or you're not into the small displacement street fighter scene, but still want that same punchy performance with modern tech, don't worry. Chinese brands have that covered too. Up next, we've got a sleek V-twin that blends muscle, gadgets, and attitude in one seriously underrated cruiser. Number 10, Voge 900 DSX. This one's not just another Me Too ADV bike, it's a straight-up power move. The Voge 900 DSX is packing an 895cc parallel twin, making 94 horsepower and 64 lb-ft of torque. Yep, this engine traces its roots to BMW's F850 GS platform. But Voge didn't just copy it. They refined it, reworked the tuning, and gave it a whole new attitude. Wet weight, 465 pounds. That's lighter than the Africa Twin or the Tiger 900, with more mid-range torque and less bulk when the trail gets sketchy. And it's not just the motor doing work. You get 8.3 inches of suspension travel up front, 8.6 inches of ground clearance, and a 21-inch front spoked wheel. This thing is built for real off-road abuse, not just Starbucks parking lots. Now for the tech, a 7-inch full-color TFT with smartphone mirroring, radar-based blind spot detection, tire pressure monitoring, heated grips and seat, and keyless start. All of it comes standard. That kind of spec sheet from the Big Four, you'd be looking at $15K or more. But the 900 DSX is gunning to undercut them by thousands. And do it louder. This isn't a knockoff, it's a warning shot. Just when you thought the Voge 900 DSX brought the perfect balance of adventure and value, here comes a leaner, meaner machine that's flying under the radar, but packing serious firepower. It's not just lighter and smarter. It's got a secret weapon under the tank that'll surprise even seasoned riders. Number 9, Zanta's 703F. This one's a sleeper, and it hits like a sniper. The Zanta's 703F packs a 699cc inline triple, not a twin, making 97 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 56 lb-ft of torque. High revving, ultra smooth, with a 120-degree crank and a 13:1 compression ratio. It sounds angry and moves like it. Fuel economy, up to 65 mpg. That's over 270 miles per tank. Better than most Japanese triples by a long shot. But here's where it gets nuts. 7-inch TFT dash with 3D navigation, tire pressure monitoring, keyless start, heated grips, adjustable windscreen, and dual dash cams front and rear with built-in storage. Quick shifter, standard. Frame, cast aluminum, lighter and stiffer than the steel chassis found on more expensive bikes. All this for under $9,000. In fact, international launch pricing lands right around $8,500 USD, with some importers in the US already offering it through limited dealer networks, meaning you can grab one stateside right now, though widespread availability is still rolling out. Seriously, this isn't a budget ADV bike. It's a tech-loaded missile hiding in plain sight. Okay, this bike is for out-teching and outpacing Japanese middleweights like the Yamaha Tracer 7 or the Suzuki V-Strom 650. It's got the gadgets, the power, the refinement, all at a price that makes you double take. But what if I told you there's another Chinese contender that dials up the off-road toughness, adds real adventure DNA, and still undercuts the Japanese legends by thousands? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, let's get into it. Number 8, Benelli TRK70X. Benelli TRK70X is stepping into the middleweight adventure bike ring, and it's not pulling punches. It's got a 698cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine that cranks out 76 horsepower and 50 lb-ft of torque. The torque curve hits strong right at 6,250 RPM. But here's the kicker. Below 4,000 RPM, it delivers nearly more torque than most Japanese rivals. That's real low-end grunt when you're crawling over rocks or charging up steep trails. Need clearance? You get 8.3 inches of ground clearance and a long 62.6-inch wheelbase, giving it better off-road geometry than most competitors. Suspension? Fully adjustable KYB setup with beefy 50mm inverted forks and a rear shock that actually responds the way you want. And the wheels? Tubeless wire-spoked rims. Standard. That's usually the $2,500 upgrade on bikes from Japan. All in at just $7,499 MSRP. But here's where it gets even more compelling. US dealers have started stocking the 2025 TRK70X at approximately $8,499 or $8,799, depending on inventory, with some promos dipping it close to $6,999 or at select Midwest shops. That means it's not just a global player. It's available stateside now with real numbers you can walk in and buy today. You're getting premium components, serious adventure chops, and a torquey twin, all for less than you'd expect. This one's made to go places. Literally. All right, this bike is built to take on Japanese middleweights with serious off-road chops, offering features and performance that'll make you rethink those usual suspects. But what if I told you there's a whole different beast from China that's not just matching the competition? It's redefining what a touring bike can be. I know, it sounds unbelievable, but trust me, this one's a game changer. Number 7, GWM Suos2000 ST. This isn't a touring bike. It's a guided missile disguised as a motorcycle. GWM Suos2000 ST is packing a monstrous 1.8 engine. That's 8 cylinders, arranged flat, like a boxer engine on steroids. It pumps out a wild 175 horsepower and a tire-twisting 181 pound-feet of torque, putting it well ahead of the Honda Goldwing in raw grunt. It sits on a lightweight aluminum twin-spar frame with Hossack-style front suspension, a setup built for high-speed stability and surgical precision. This thing doesn't float at highway speeds. It locks in. Tech? Oh, it's loaded. Radar-guided cruise control and blind spot monitoring come standard. No Japanese tourer offers both from the factory. And it's a long hauler too, thanks to a massive 6.9-gallon tank. That'll get you around 250 miles before needing a fill-up. From engine to electronics, this thing is rewriting what a luxury touring bike can be. Forget keeping up with the Goldwing. The S2000 ST is looking it in the mirror and pulling away. China didn't just enter the touring game. They kicked the door off its hinges. And here's the jaw-dropper. This technological sledgehammer starts at around $3,700 in China, with higher trims reaching up to $39,000. It's not cheap, but when you look at what it packs, it's basically a high-speed spaceship with mirrors. As for the US, not yet. GWM flexed it at CES in Las Vegas. But as of now, the S2000 ST isn't available on American soil. No dealers, no pre-orders, just a whole lot of waiting. Which means for now, this beast remains a distant, roaring dream, behind international red tape. And if you thought Chinese bikes were all about big cruisers and adventure machines, think again. Here's a sport bike that's rewriting the rules for entry-level performance. But don't let the price fool you. This one's packing features and flair that most Japanese rivals can't touch under 10 grand. Sound surprising? Stick with me, it gets better. Number 6, CF Moto 450 SR-S. This thing was supposed to be an entry-level sport bike, but nobody told it. The CF Moto 450 SR-S is punching way above its weight. It's powered by a 449cc liquid-cooled parallel twin with a 270-degree crankshaft, which gives it that deep V twin-style bark instead of the usual buzz. Power output? 50 horsepower at 9,500 RPM, and the whole thing weighs just 395 pounds. That's lighter than almost every Japanese middleweight on the market right now. The chassis setup is razor sharp, 53.9-inch wheelbase with a 24-degree rake, making it flickable and stable in the corners. Braking? A legit Brembo M40 caliper up front, clamping a 300E, no cut corners there. And here's the mic's drop. It comes with a quick shifter and launch control. Stock, you read that right. A sub $7,000 sport bike with tech usually reserved for high-end machines. No Japanese bike under 10K is bringing that to the table. The 450 SR-S isn't just a budget bike, it's a wake-up call. Fast is polished and ready to embarrass machines that cost thousands more. This isn't a stepping stone, it's a serious weapon. If you thought affordable sport bikes were all about compromises, the CF Moto 450 SR-S just flipped that idea on its head. And if you're wondering whether you can get your hands on one, yes, you can. It's already available across the US right now, sitting pretty in showrooms with a $6,499 price tag, exactly where it promised to be, under that magic 7K line, but looking and riding like something double the sticker. But what if you want something tougher, smarter, and ready to tackle the wild without paying Japanese prices? Well, there's a Chinese middleweight adventure bike that's throwing serious punches in that ring. Number 5, Cyclone RX605 Adventure. Here's a middleweight ADV bike that's throwing haymakers at the Japanese veterans. The Cyclone RX650 is powered by a 649cc parallel twin that kicks out 70 horsepower and 46 pound-feet of torque, more than the V-Strom 650XT and way more than old-school thumpers like the XR650L. But it's not just about power. This thing comes fully loaded. Up front, you've got 7.9 inches of travel from inverted forks, plus a rear monoshock for serious off-road chops. And the tech, cruise control, off-road mode, blind spot detection, built-in nav, even dual onboard cameras, all standard. No premium package nonsense. Curb weight sits around 435 pounds, with a balanced chassis and low center of gravity that keeps it steady on dirt or tarmac. It's quick, it's smart, and it's rugged. And all for a price that undercuts most Japanese options by a mile. The RX650 isn't just joining the ADV fight, it's swinging for the crown. The Cyclone RX650 isn't just competing with Japanese ADV legends, it's straight up challenging them on power, tech, and price. As for American soil, it is not yet stocked in the US market. There's a buzz from Malaysian and even Chinese launches, and Cyclones have been spotted in Asia since mid-2023, but no official US distribution or dealers as of July 2025. It's a beast overseas, but for now it's still locked behind those import gates. But what if you're more into cruisers? If classic style with modern power and performances is your vibe, there's a Chinese contender that's flipping the script on entry-level cruisers, and it's packing more features and flair than you'd expect. Number 4. Benda Napoleon 500. This isn't your typical entry-level cruiser. The Benda Napoleon 500 packs a 500cc V twin, not a parallel twin like the Rebel, with a 72-degree angle that gives it a deep American-style rumble. Thanks to its 2-in-2 exhaust and crossover pipe, the sound is throaty, rich, and totally unlike the higher-pitched whine of its Japanese rivals. Handling? Nailed it. With a long 61-inch wheelbase, a 32-degree rake, and a super low 27.3-inch seat height, the Napoleon feels planted and easy to control, especially at low speeds. Perfect for city cruising or new riders. And here's the kicker. It comes standard with full LED lighting, billet aluminum controls, alloy wheels, and premium touches you usually only see on 10K plus bikes. Compared to the Honda Rebel 500 or Kawasaki Eliminator, the Napoleon 500 delivers way more style, sound, and hardware, all at a better price. In China, it sells for about $5,400. By the time it hits US shores with shipping and markups, expect to pay between $6,500 and $7,000. And yes, it's already in the US. A few boutique importers are bringing it in. Still rare, still under the radar. But with 10K Cruiser looks for half the price, it's a total sleeper. If laid-back cruising and low-end rumbles is too mellow for you, or you're not into the chrome-heavy cruiser vibe, or maybe you want the same shock value with way more speed and tech, then Chinese companies have already thought of that. What we're about to see might just humiliate Japan's biggest names in the naked bike scene. It's lighter, smarter, and outrageously better equipped. Number 3. CF Moto 800K HighEnd. This one's not just a naked bike, it's a tech-loaded scalpel with attitude. The CF Moto 800NK HighEnd runs a KTM-sourced 799cc parallel twin, pushing 100 horsepower and 60 pound-feet of torque. Thanks to ride-by-wire, dual-balance shafts, and a slipper clutch, throttle response is lightning fast, especially in sport mode. It rides on a steel trellis frame with 20% more torsional rigidity than typical aluminum setups. And at just 410 pounds wet, it's flickable and planted through every corner. But here's where it breaks the game. A massive 10.25-inch TFT display with split-screen mode, Apple CarPlay, voice control, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and over-the-air updates. No Japanese naked bike offers anything close, not even for double the price. And yep, cruise control and heated grips, available standard or for peanuts. Meanwhile, Big 4 riders are still shelling out for premium packages. At around $8,700, the 800NK isn't just high-end, it's highway robbery. If the 800NK's blend of power and tech still isn't wild enough for you, or you're not into naked bikes and want something that screams superbike dominance with MotoGP DNA, then don't worry, China's got that covered too. What we're about to see isn't just aiming at the R1 and ZX-10R, it's out for blood. Lighter, sharper, and meaner. This one's gunning for the crown. Number 2. QJ Motor SRK1000RC. This isn't just a superbike, it's a shot across the bow of the Japanese heavyweights. The QJ Motor SRK1000RC blends sharp, low-drag bodywork with carbon fiber aero and a narrow nose design. QJ claims it cuts through air with 12% more efficiency than traditional Japanese superbikes. Under the fairings, a 178cc inline-4 borrowed from the MV Agusta Brutale 1090RR, retuned for 144 horsepower and Euro 5 compliance, with no power drop thanks to smart fuel mapping and a high-flow exhaust. Up front, dual 320mm rotors squeezed by Brembo Stellema R. Stellema R calipers provide insane stopping power, cutting braking distances by up to 15% compared to typical OEM systems. Wet weight? Just 437 pounds, and even lighter with optional carbon parts. That gives it a power-to-weight ratio that rivals the R1, ZX-10R, and Subaru 1000RR. But here's the kicker, it handles better. Sharper aero, lighter chassis, and better brakes give the SRK a real advantage where it matters. On real tracks, not just spec sheets. Pricing hasn't been officially confirmed, but European sources peg a basic SRK 1000 around 14,000 to 15,000 USD when it launches. And yes, it is coming to the US. QJ Motor entered the American market in 2023 via SSR Motorsports distribution, so US dealers are gearing up for its arrival. You've seen cruisers, nakeds, and even race-ready missiles. But what if I told you the most outrageous bike on this list isn't about speed? It's about dominance. If full-throttle performance isn't your thing, or you're the kind of rider who wants to tour in comfort and blow minds at every gas stop, then this last machine isn't just your answer. It's your statement. It's bold, bizarre, and built like nothing Japan has ever dared to make. Number 1, Great Wall SO2000. This isn't just a bike, it's a flex. The Great Wall SO2000, also known as the SO V8, is the world's first production motorcycle with a flat 8 engine. Yep, 8 horizontally opposed cylinders, like a Subaru Boxer, but dialed up to 11. Displacement? 1,999 cc. Output? Acclaimed 154 horsepower and 140 pound-feet of torque. Some folks online are tossing around 200 horsepower numbers, but there's no dyno proof yet, so let's keep it real. Still, 154 horses from a flat 8? That's wild. It's also packing serious tech, 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, adaptive suspension, blind spot monitoring, lane assist, and even a 360-degree camera system, straight from the factory. The Gold Wing doesn't even go that far. And here's the jaw-dropper. In China, this thing sells for just $3,000 to $4,000. That's not a typo. That's less than a tenth of what a fully loaded Gold Wing costs. Sure, it's probably not built with aerospace-grade materials, but the value on them, off the charts. China didn't just show up to the touring game. They walked in, dropped a flat 8 bomb, and dared the rest of the world to catch up. This is what disruption looks like. The world of motorcycles is so unpredictable. It keeps evolving, surprising, and breaking the rules, so don't stop here. I've got another jaw-dropping one. It's right there on the screen. Click and watch it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss when the next game changer hits.